Yes, go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new webinar within Africa Esports Series educational program. My name is Ignat Bobrovic. I'm one of the co-founders of the project, and we are working hard to deliver the best content for you. And today is a webinar with Gerald Salomon. Gerald is the executive director of Samueli Foundation for almost 30 years. He leads innovation in STEAM-based esports program NASEF. He's a really great person. What he's doing, when I first heard what he's doing, I was so fascinated to learn more. And I think everyone who will be watching today and then live and then VODs will get fascinated even more than me. He's doing great projects which help to integrate esports into academical world, and they're doing really great projects which help to, I believe, which really help to gamify the educational process, and which actually also creates new opportunities. And this is also what Africa Esports Series is all about. Gerald, I'd like to give you a flow and to tell more about what you're doing.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, depending upon where you are. I happen to be in Santa Fe, New Mexico in the United States, so it's about noontime where I am. What I'd like to do is go through some videos in PowerPoints and a variety of slides, so you'll have a better chance to know a little bit about who we are and what we do. As Ignat said, I served as the head of a foundation for a number of years where we created a program around esports, not how to play the game or how to play titles better, but how to use esports and gaming as what we call a Trojan horse, a way to be able to get kids interested and excited and then learn skills that help them thrive and grow in the work that they do. I'm going to start out with a little video to talk about what's happening right now with our program. And by the way, we are all over the world. We are 100% free to schools, after-school programs, from middle school to high school. And we started with 26 schools 2.5 years ago in Orange County, California. And today we are in 1,300 schools in 48 states in the United States, in 11 countries. And with this program, in partnership with the US State Department, we have created an opportunity that I think really is exciting for students all over the world that you can immediately participate in at no cost. Your students can have fun, your families can have fun, and you can learn at the same time. So let me play this video, and then we will talk a little bit about it and continue. You can actually go into the website and sign up for that now at NASEF, NASEF.org. So just imagine for a second where your 13-year-old or 15-year-old or 18-year-old through Minecraft in a world we built called Farmcraft can farm and play, build crops, deal with 5 different climates around the world, build a little business, buy seeds, watch them germinate and grow, harvest their crops, all in competition with other kids all around the world. Not only are they having fun and playing, but they're learning about biotechnology, about agriculture, about climate change, about how to run a business, how they can grow crops, how seasons and climate affects crop growth and the like. That's what we try to do. We learn through gaming. We learn through the competition where kids have an opportunity to grow and develop. Now, let me go all the way back to the beginning, and I'll share a little bit of history and talk about our work so you understand how we got to this point. And I'll end with this similar concept again. We started out really as a result of our having spent a lot of time in the United States in the foundation, working on the concept of helping students grow and thrive, especially those that were underrepresented, that were not engaged in school, didn't see a pathway for themselves, and especially in our country, dealing with issues of what we call equality and equity. How do we get more kids who are disenfranchised and disengaged more involved in the education system so they can gain the skills to develop and thrive and grow? We in our foundation funded 89 communities, not only in the United States, but in some parts around the world as well, around STEM and STEAM education. And in that process, although it was successful in some ways, we were not reaching those we really wanted to reach, especially, as I said, the children that were less advantaged. So we started to figure out what could we do? And we did some research and we realized that a lot of the kids that we wanted to reach were gaming, whether they were on their phone or a PC or a console, they were playing games. And we thought that, gee, if we could figure out how to tap into them, we could then really have impact for those that we really wanted to reach. So we created a concept, and the concept is really simple. It's the idea of taking what's called project-based learning, do it through gaming and esports in a virtual world. And interestingly enough, we started this before COVID, so we were really well positioned when COVID came. This is an interesting slide because for those especially who are in education, understand the kids learn best through immersive hands-on learning. Whether it's Lego education, maker, tinkering, fab labs, robotics, whatever it may be, kids learn best when they get their hands dirty, when they're getting involved in things. So what we did, just as I said, is we took the concept of gaming and esports and we built a curriculum around what that looks like and placed it into a virtual world all pre-COVID. The concept was meeting kids where they are and figuring out how to speak to them in a language that's important to them. So we went ahead and we built out a curriculum. We hired teachers from university at the University of California, from K-12 education at the Orange County Department of Education in California. And we asked them to build a curriculum where kids could go and play and learn at the same time without them thinking that they're being taught in a traditional classroom. Go to them, go to the way they think, the way they reason. And what ultimately happened was we started, as I said, with 26 schools, and now we have thousands and tens of thousands of kids all over the world who are taking advantage of our program and our curriculum. I'll share that with you in a little bit. And our curriculum is not only something that we built, but it's also state certified and credentialed. The only one of its kind in the United States, where the Department of Education and the powers to be in the state of California have approved our full English language arts curriculum for 4 years in high school, all of the career tech CTE tracks, and all of our middle school curriculum. We are the only ones that have a state certified curriculum and which is free to every school, every educator, and every student in the country and around the world, because we believe that every student has a fundamental right to learn and thrive and grow. It should not be limited by the color of their skin, the place that they're born in, or whatever their limited economic resources may be. I'll share the first video with the superintendent of Miami-Dade in Florida. They have a school district with over 400,000 students. And our program is in all of their high schools and all of their middle schools. And you can learn by listening to him a little bit about why he placed our program into all of his schools in Miami-Dade.
Esports is relevant to us because it's relevant to the kids. So if we want to transform the American classroom, if we want to make it both rigorous, relevant, but fun, if we want to excite them about their own learning, then let's bring something to them they understand, they navigate well, that adapts to the way they live, the way they entertain themselves, but let's use it as a powerful tool of education. That's why esports speaks loudly to me, because it speaks loudly to them. For those who are somewhat doubtful about the impact of the benefit, speak with your students. Gauge the level of interest and engagement in a traditional classroom where all you do is rote learning, compared to an environment where students can actually navigate an educational space that integrates STEM and STEAM, integrates new technology alongside the necessary standards. And you'll see that their mindset, the way their brains are wired, is compellingly different than the way our very own were. So if we want to maximize learning, understand the brain of a child, understand the way they think, the way they learn, what captivates them today, how connected they are, and then create environments that, quite frankly, match their own ambitions, and learning will prosper. Parents probably are often concerned about the amount of time that young people are in front of screens, but being engaged from the earlier stage of game development and participation and competition can be productive, can be engaging, can actually boost student achievement. That's why I believe in it. That's why we have it in our school system.
It's always good to hear from colleagues and educators. So what do we mean by scholastic esports? It's really pretty simple. It's an intentional use of esports as a vehicle for learning. This is probably one of the most important slides that I will share with you. You can look at that little infographic on the right. Some people refer to it as a rounded baseball diamond for baseball. Basically what we do and what we've done is we have created curriculum not for kids to play games and titles better, but to learn through gaming. So with any sport, you have a very small percentage and handful of kids who are competitive gamers, but you've got a lot of students who enjoy the game on a casual basis, who want to feel like they belong, who want to be part of something, who want to contribute and feel value, be part of a community. And that's at the core of what we do. And our curriculum is based upon 4 quadrants: strategic development and thinking, content creation, entrepreneurship and innovation, and organizational management. Some kids who are casual players may be more interested in fandom art and creating logos, or doing the shoutcasting, or doing the marketing and the PR work, or building out the website, or doing the event management, or going ahead and taking the data from a game and helping their fellow friends and colleagues improve the way they play by doing pre-calculus and calculus work in data analytics. That's our curriculum. Our curriculum is to get kids together in the concept of a club where they belong and feel a sense of value, and then through play, expose them to the opportunities and the careers that are out there. All of our curriculum is also tied to the standards in the United States. We have Common Core, which is English Language Arts, Career Tech, Next Gen Science Standards, the technical skills of ISTE, and what are called the social and emotional learning skills of what we have. In addition, we have an entire curriculum around what's called health and wellness or well-being. We all know that it's hard for children to grow up in today's environment. And oftentimes there are issues of insecurity and belonging and sense of self and purpose and value. So we've created with the University of California and the School of Medicine and Psychology and the like, an entire layer of curriculum, what we call Play Well, Be Well. How do you be a good gamer? How does a student look at their own world, their sense of self, the choices they make, the spaces they operate in, their feelings, their relationships? How do they realize that it's not healthy to play games at 11 o'clock at night in your room with the door closed, drinking Coke or Pepsi and eating candy or Cheetos? Instead, if they were to realize that eating better, having better nutrition, sleeping better actually improves their performance in gaming, they will want to do that. So we have this whole layer of how do they improve how they play through how they examine their sense of self and who they are. But really the core of our work, as I alluded to earlier, is the academic piece, which is how do we expose students and have them build skills for all types of opportunities. Whether you look at a baseball team, a basketball team, a soccer team, a football team, there are a handful of kids who excel and can be called professional competitive athletes. But a lot of kids love the work. They can still love the work and be part of it by being part of the human resources department, by being part of the commercial and development department, the legal department, the financial department, the media relations department, the digital development department, the broadcasting. The skills that we provide to these students through our curriculum and the way they play gives them the opportunity to connect what they love to do, their passion in play, with a purpose so they can grow and develop. We have created an entire structure with curriculum on how a child and a parent and a family and a teacher can navigate their way through different grade levels to get to the point where they can have fun, play, and acquire skills in what they do. I'll give you an example of what it looks like in a school, in a classroom, so you can get a sense of how kids take to it and how meaningful it is to the student.
Esports has to do with a lot of bringing people together through not just competition, but that soul core of just shared passion.
I'm a huge proponent of gaming, especially as a way to reach kids in education. And so when I heard that UC Irvine, in collaboration with the Orange County Department of Education, in collaboration with the Samueli Foundation, are having this big esports push a year or two ago, it was a no-brainer for me and for our school here. Because I know, these kids, they're all about gaming, they love it, and it really is a way that we can meet them where they are.
I don't play games fairly often, but when I do, I'm entertained. And the reason I joined the esports class was because of the entrepreneurship also. And it's very different from just a regular class. It gives you an open-mindedness about new things that are happening in the industry, in the world.
Here at Samueli Academy, there's 9th through 11th grade where each year has a different specification for esports. So 9th grade with game design, 10th grade with entrepreneurship, and 11th grade marketing. And each class is dedicated to helping teach those kids those specific parts of esports along with English.
The English classes really is about meeting kids where they are.
Oh, my class subject is Esports English. This is a new experience. For a lot of people, they're not very interested in English, and I think this is a fun way to learn about English and at the same time learn about something that you might have taken interest of and that you didn't know about, and I think that's very cool too.
Gaming is beyond what close-minded people think. There's a lot of writing and there's a lot of literature in gaming.
It's a very good way to get students entertained in what you want to teach them. Right here, they're giving us an opportunity to do what we like to do.
So some examples of what we've done in our esports class is that we had to make our own video game, and it was a storyline that happened to us. And for example, mine was getting lost in New York, and we made a video game about that. I'm actually very shy and I don't collaborate a lot with people and socialize. But this time, it made us all collaborate with each other, and it made us think together and try to be a team. And the same things that they liked, I liked, which is even crazier. And it actually made me want to work and want to finish our storyline.
Our mission here is to serve a diverse population, and some of that diversity includes kids who are well behind academically and motivationally. And we develop these esports classes around the idea of meeting kids where they are. Where when I was in school, I was never taught to collaborate. I was never taught to communicate or think critically, but through the lens of esports and STEM, these kids are gaining those soft skills. It gives them a reason to buy in. But if you can put them in a healthy situation and structure some curriculum around it, and watch the teamwork, watch the collaboration, watch the skills start to develop within that young man or young woman, they're gonna go, wow. Watch it transform when they get into the world of video games.
It's good to see how it actually operates in a school. We also have the program in out-of-school platforms. YMCAs, Boys and Girls Clubs, libraries, after-school programs. And you don't need to know esports in order to participate. The curriculum that we've built is set in modules that can be done in 8 weeks, 16 weeks, 32 weeks, half a semester, a whole year, however you wish to do it. It's not stackable. You can break pieces apart. This lesson plan, for example, is the introduction to creativity in marketing and product design. And as you can see, it provides for information on career pathways. We color code the standards of learning, so you know where the English, the language, the arts, the science, the math, all of those technical skills are being called out. You have an understanding key for the facilitator or teacher, materials, and then actually a scope and sequence by the minute on how the educator or teacher can share the plan and program. So as I said, we started out with just a number of schools in Orange County, California. And today we have literally grown all over the world. And we actually have programs that are participating in Nigeria and South Africa and continuing to evolve and grow not only across the African continent, but across all of the Middle East and elsewhere as well. So one of the questions that's always asked is, how do you know that what you have works and is effective to help students thrive and grow? Well, part of it is we paid for research. We hired a doctor, Dr. Steinkuhler, who was the head of gaming for the Office of Science, Technology, and Policy for the White House under President Obama. And after she left, she moved to the University of California. And we wanted to know, as we were spending money on this, what was working and what wasn't. So we actually gave her a grant. And for those who are involved in education, you understand what an IRB approved evaluation is. She was able to secure independent review board or IRB approval of her study. And after 3 years, the profound impact is significant. I will share that with you in a minute, but I'd like you to hear from her for a minute as to who she is and her thinking.
My name is Constance Steinkuhler. I'm a full professor here in informatics and I study games. My expertise is on social interaction and cognition. My game of choice tends to be player versus player, kind of online games. I'm really interested in all of the social interaction and social sort of collaboration and competition that happens in games and then around the games. And we have a lot of different faculty here who are actually working on game-related topics. The connection between esports and STEM, between esports and academics generally. Gaming is a very cerebral and smart kind of activity. In their game spaces, they're doing like really high-end theory crafting, they're doing data science. It's a ton of delayed gratification. If you're gonna get good at any of the games, it takes a lot of work, it takes hours of discipline, of play. And so the idea that they're kind of barren intellectually is sort of a foolish idea the moment you pick up a title. It takes screen time and it turns it into activity time. In today's kind of climate, we really underestimate how important it is just to play and to do things because they're interesting and fun. It's actually an important part of development.
So what Dr. Steinkuhler did was she actually evaluated 3,413 of our students that participated and over 1,700 educators, not about gaming, but about how they used our tools and our curriculum to help kids see opportunities for themselves and to engage in activities like scientific reasoning, data analytics, problem solving, reasoning, qualitative analytics, communication, constructing arguments, using evidence, all the types of skills that we try to get our kids to acquire and learn so that they can succeed and do well. And the success has been just overwhelming. What we see is just significant findings in all quadrants, especially around what's called the social emotional learning skills. We assess not only the students, but the coaches and the teachers as to how they're doing, what they're doing, and the capacity of their growth and development in all of the kind of STEM and STEAM attributes and characteristics. And one of the great findings was the fact that it was having greater impact on those that needed it the most. Those that came from higher socioeconomic positions could afford robotics, could afford tutoring, could afford after-school programs. But what about the families and the students who couldn't? What we found was the greatest growth and uptake and increase in math, in science, in social emotional learning, in all of the STEM skills for those that needed it the most. And that really was important to us. So how do we do this? We do this by meeting kids where they are, by setting up clubs in either before school or after school. They elect officers, they have a charter, we have templates for a pledge, for how they operate, how they build a business plan. They elect officers just like you would in any other type of business. We're starting to instill in these kids the concept of being an entrepreneur, by being an innovator, by being a creator in who they are. Someone takes on the fandom art and social media role. Someone takes on the website development role. Someone takes on the public relations, the data analytics role. So you're starting to build this community where everyone feels valued and a part of the work. And when they meet and they develop who they are and the club, they get all of our tools, all free, that help them look at the opportunities. They get their club charter, the mission, vision statements, the code of conduct, toolkits, learning how to do competitions, how to build out brackets, the curriculum itself, how to do social media, fundraising, and the like. Just an example of some of the toolkits, as simple as what is esports, to how do you develop a website, to how do you stream, how do you resolve conflict, how do you deal with negative behavior online, how do you work with all of the different kinds of activities. And we do it through a lens of equity and diversity and inclusion, because we believe that no one, as I said earlier, should be limited by the color of their skin or their gender preference. So we really try to teach people the concepts of empathy and understanding to really build out community in the work that they do and how they do that work. The activities are around various titles and games. Some of them are the standard kind of competition games that you know about, like Overwatch or Rocket League or League of Legends or FIFA or the like. Those are competitions we put on, all free to students, all who can participate at no cost. They have to have, obviously, either the controller or the PC or the mobile technology to be able to do that. But that's, at that point, the licensing, the play, the competition is all free for them to do that. In addition, we also provide ambassadors and coaching. Oftentimes, students want to be able to grow and develop and learn both around the title to play better, but also to be a better person. So we have relationships with universities all over the country whose students, through Zoom and other types of web engagements, work with the students around the world to talk about how do you play the game better? How do you position a character better? What are the strengths and weaknesses of a particular character? Or how do you deal with conflict? How do you work with improving your communication style? How do you avoid tilting? And how do you deal with those kinds of issues when they arise? It's really about peer mentoring. A 16-year-old is not going to listen to me, but a 16-year-old will listen to an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old who can speak their language and talk to them in a way that makes sense to them and how they operate. As I shared with you earlier, we're about the learning. We're not just about the play, but we take that concept of play and we integrate it into the learning piece so that when we do a contest or a competition, as you remember that bubble graph, it's the players who are in the center who play and compete 5-on-5, 3-on-3, 1-on-1. But around that, what we do is we have all of the rest of the club members competing and participating to show their role in the club. Some of them build out the logos. Some of them do the social media work. Some of them manage the TikTok site. Some of them do blogging. Some of them go ahead and build out the computers. Some of them go ahead and do the data analytics. At any competition that we do, we have the students show what's called the artifacts of the learning. So when a teacher or a parent or an administrator or a government official comes in and watches these kids, they don't just see kids playing on a computer. They actually see kids demonstrating what they've learned around website development, computer science, coding, logo development, all of the other attributes that provide pathways for them to grow and thrive. And that's a key and critical piece as to how they do use esports as a vehicle in gaming to be able to learn and grow. It is developed so well that we actually created 2 years ago a Scholastic Fellows program. Here in the United States and other places, there are fellowships. Here, for example, some of the more well-known ones are the Woodrow Wilson Fellows or MacArthur Scholars, etc. What we did was we opened it up to teachers around the country in the first year, and now around the world, where teachers can go ahead and actually go and spend a year in training to learn about our curriculum and how to use that curriculum in an after-school program, in their graphic design class, in their computer science class, in their web development class, in their language class, in their art class, in their history class, in their English class. And we have for this year, for this cohort, we actually have educators from around the world, 2 from South Africa, 2 from UK, 2 from Japan, 2 from Mexico, in addition to those in the United States, who go ahead and devote part of their time, in addition to their teaching and what they do full time, to learn about how they can better improve the opportunity for their students and for their colleagues to be able to build out and use gaming and esports as that Trojan horse to give students and educators the ability to connect with students in joy, and then provide pathways, both through curriculum and fun through gaming, to see opportunities for themselves. What we've done is we have figured out, fortunately, through lots of trial and error, but we've learned how do you create a community, connect the concept of the community club with curriculum through the lens of what esports is. This is just a picture of the development and announcement of our work in Japan. This is what we did in UK, in London. This is an example of what we did in the State Department in Mexico. This is an interesting story because that really developed after COVID hit the world. And the public education system in Mexico was really struggling to figure out, how do we get our kids back into learning? They don't want to show up. Some of them don't have devices or capacity to be able to pull down the curriculum and learn. What can we do? So we collaborated and partnered with the US State Department to go ahead and to help them through our relationship with Microsoft. And we built a program on how students can create in Minecraft using engineering design and design thinking, and to create the COVID-19 virus, to create the COVID house that they would want to live in, and the COVID hospital, the gosh forbid, where they would want to be treated in. In less than 2 weeks, we had over 3,000 students in Mexico who participated in this Minecraft COVID-19 challenge. That was the beginning of our relationship with the State Department, where we showed how we can use gaming and esports as a means to engage kids, to get them back involved with the teacher, the student in a fun and playful way, and through it, be able to learn engineering design, design thinking, to be able to use their skills around communication, collaboration, teamwork, and leadership, and then be able to take that and put it into a platform, narrate that, video themselves, post it up on Flipgrid, and then learn that technology. So there's a full range of skills and learning and science just about the COVID virus itself that they learned in what they did and how they did it. We have recently taken the concept of what is known here in the United States around engineering design, the Rube Goldberg Challenge, which is using the six simple machines, and in partnership with Rube Goldberg, put it into a virtual world where they are able to go ahead and participate and compete all over the world on the same type of skills that we talked about. As I shared in the beginning, this has led to the introduction of our first FarmCraft 1. We hope to do many of them around the United States. If you Google NASEF FarmCraft or go to our website at NASEF, NASEF.org, you will be able to put in the search engine FarmCraft, and you will be able to find how you can register and participate. As I said, there are over 20 countries already in the world who are participating with us, and the State Department posts around the world to be able to actively participate in what this is. Let me leave you with a video of a student, so you can hear directly from a student on how he or she participates in this program and what it's meant to him and to his fellow students.
My teacher got word that there was going to be an esports club, and they told me, want to do it? He was like, yeah, for sure. He jumped on, and when he told us about the esports club, what we started to do very quickly, we got onto NASEF, and you guys have a list of all the colleges that are in the program. So we immediately started emailing all the colleges there, sending emails, hey, if you guys have any promotional stuff, any material, any shirts, anything you can tell us about your colleges and any scholarships dealing with esports, could you please send us that material? And then we had all those colleges respond, and they would mail us stuff. So we have a big wall with all the flags of the colleges. So when the kids come and we talk to the parents, we can not only tell them how it's going to help them in school and how it's not like traditional sports, but we can also show them these are the scholarships, these are the real world opportunities that your son or daughter will be getting if they join our club. My favorite thing about Esports Club is the diversity. When you look at that door, you don't know who's going to come through. It's kids of all ages, all sizes, all colors, and we try our best, me and my fellow officers, to make the club a safe environment. You know, no bullying. We want that place to feel like a second home to the kids who come, just play games with their friends and enjoy. And it's such a diversity, you know, you see the quiet kids you see around school that you would never think you'd talk to, you see them there, and then you start playing with them, you get to know them better, and you figure out, you know, they're actually cool people, they're just very shy. So I think it's very great that the club is very diverse, and just everyone's there. It's not just one group. I don't have much time to really play, as I have 2 AP classes, I'm doing dual enrollment, I have 4 honors classes. I got stuff to worry about in school, so I don't really have time to go home and practice to hone my skills in a certain game to then play and compete. But at home, after I do my homework, I'll get on my laptop and I'll log into the NASEF portal and I'll check to make sure, you know, who's registered, who's not, what tournaments we got coming up. I'll log into the Discord. I'll see what announcements we have sent, what announcements we still have to send. I'll email, I'll text my vice president and my secretary, hey, we got to get this done. Remember, we have these deadlines. We're actually orchestrating a tournament in our school. So we're buying tickets now, we're making flyers, we're mass printing them so we can put them all around the school, walking around personally asking teachers, hey, can we put flyers on your door, please, for the tournament? So we're setting all that up now, so at our school, you know, we can have a big tournament. The career that I get, I'm gonna use that money to try to start a business or invest and, you know, make more money out of it. I've always been very business driven, so I guess it's a little easier for me to be in a management position. You guys are our sponsor, you guys gave us 2 Switches, I believe. But apart from that, we bought 4 Xboxes and 6 games for the classroom so we can have more consoles so more kids can come and play the games they love. And we don't have a very big school. Our school's only 1,500 students. But in the first meeting, we managed to hit 174 students to show up. We needed 2 big rooms to house them all. So I just want to thank you for everything you've done, and it's made a big impact in our school.
So I'm going to end with where I started, because this is an easy way for you to get involved. You don't need to set up the club yet. You can do that over time. But to be able to get involved, simply go onto the website and have your students from all over just come in and participate and play and learn and have fun in this program, in this competition with the State Department and with us. As I indicated, you can just go on our website at nasef.org and you'll be able to get information on us. Here's information on how to reach me. This is my email address. This is also our info@nasef.org. This is how you can reach me if you have any questions. Gaming in esports alone is fun, but gaming in esports provides opportunities when you build a curriculum with it like we have done, where you can connect opportunities for kids to game, grow, learn, and lead. A true way to develop the future citizenry and opportunities for your students around your communities, your families, and your countries. So thank you for the opportunity to be able to share this. Please reach out should you have questions. Please go to the website and become involved in our global competition around FarmCraft now at nasef.org. And I am here to help in any way that we can. So appreciate it very much and look forward to hearing from you and your participation in our program. Into AES, Ignat, and all of the team there, thank you for the opportunity to be able to share with those that are paying attention and listening, and those that follow up later through YouTube and other ways, that there's more to gaming than just what we call thumb monkeys, people who just play, but there really is an opportunity to grow and thrive. So thank you again, and it's a pleasure to have this opportunity.